Hello and welcome to this Riverbed support video on deploying virtual SteelFusion core appliance on VMware ESXi. My name is Anshuk Kesarwani and I work with Riverbed Technical Support. Let's begin our discussion with a brief overview on Core Virtual Appliance. Core Virtual Appliance is a virtualized edition of a physical core that runs on VMware ESXi version 5.1 and beyond. Please note that ESXi version 5 is no longer supported and will not work with Core Virtual Edition. Core V has the same functionality and performance as Core depending on which mode you intend to configure, that is NFS for file mode or iSCSI, which is for the block mode. Let's have a quick look on the hardware requirements for Virtual Core version 1000 and Virtual Core version 1500. Pay special attention to memory reservation, disk space and recommended CPU reservation. If you don't provision enough resources to the VM, you would get an alert on the device. Let's look at the setup steps. For deploying a virtual core, the first step is to obtain the Core V package from the Riverbed support site. We then need to gather the network settings, which we will use later for configuration wizard once the VM is deployed. Later we need to deploy the core virtual image on the ESXi. We can optionally also set the storage mode, which by default is iSCSI. We can change it to NFS. I would present a later video wherein I would be showing how to change the storage mode from iSCSI to NFS and vice versa. The next step would be to power on the VM and complete the basic configuration using the settings that we have gathered in step number 2. Once the VM is deployed, we need to license it based on the token that you have purchased from Riverbed sales. And the last step is to complete configuration specific to the storage mode that you have chosen, that is iSCSI or NFS. Please refer to individual videos that I have shared earlier on how to configure your SteelFusion devices using iSCSI or NFS. I would be providing links in the description below. Now that we already know the setup steps, let's jump into a quick demo and deploy a virtual SteelFusion core. In deploying a virtual SteelFusion core, the first step was to download the OVA image from the Riverbed support site, for which you go to support.riverbed.com. You log in using your support credentials. Go to Software and Documentation section, select SteelFusion, select Core. Once you come to the core section, you can see the virtual SteelFusion core OVA images for different versions of the code. Okay, you go ahead and download this software. For the sake of this lab, I've already downloaded this image and stored in my laptop. Once you have downloaded that OVA image, you then log into your ESXi server where you want to install this virtual core. For this lab, I'm using this ESXi server and I would be deploying that OVA image. For that, what you need to do is go to File, Deploy OVF Template. So you need to specify where you have stored your OVA image on your laptop. I've stored it here, so I would select this. So you need to give it a meaningful name. You then need to specify the data store on the ESXi where you want to install this virtual core. So you then need to specify what kind of disk format that you would be using. Leave it to default. You then need to specify the network. In my lab, I would be using this. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete the configuration and power on the deployment. I have specifically haven't configured the virtual machine settings because I wanted to show you if the machine is under provision, what kind of alarms that you would be getting. Okay, So this deployment would take a couple of minutes. I'll pause the video here. Okay, as you can see, my SteelFusion core is now deployed. Let's close and log in into the appliance. We go to summary and open console. So you can see that my VM is booting up. Okay, as you can see, my VM is booted up. We log in into the appliance. So the default credentials is admin and the password is also password. As that's a new deployment, it is asking that whether or not you'll be using the wizard for doing the initial configuration. Let's choose yes. So I'll give a name test core. Next question, it's asking whether or not you want to use DHCP on the primary interface. In my case, I would be choosing no. Then you need to specify the IP address. I'll leave the settings to be default. Okay, my device is configured. Let's check whether I'm able to reach out to my gateway or not. Perfect. So my virtual machine is up. I'm able to reach out to the gateway. Let's log in onto the GUI. Okay, if you can see, my device is responding on the web GUI. I agree. Use the same password. Okay, my device is up, but it's not looking healthy. There are 3 critical alarms. Let's see what they are. Okay, the first alarm, it says the available memory is not enough to sustain model. Expected memory was 4 gig and what I have provided is just 1 gig. If you recall from the previous slides, we have certain memory and CPU requirements that we need to provide to this VM. Otherwise, we'll run into these alerts. Okay, let's see what the other issue is. Okay, so the device is also stating that this device is unlicensed. As I already talked, you need to get in touch with our Riverbed sales team and they would provide you a token which you need to redeem. So token redemption is similar to any of the Steelhead appliance, wherein when you purchase virtual Steelhead appliance, the sales team would be providing you a token number which you need to redeem on the GUI here. You go to licenses page and you redeem the token here and then you generate the license request key. This license request key can later be redeemed onto our support portal and then you can download the licenses from that. We already have a knowledge base which I would be sharing in the description below. Okay. So let me go ahead and fix the hardware requirements and also install the license on the box. For that, I'll go to the ESXi server once again. Okay, let me go ahead and power off this virtual machine. Okay, let's go to edit settings for this virtual machine. So the memory required was 4 gig and it requires 4 CPUs. Let me provide the required hardware into this VM. Let me power on the VM. Okay, my VM is powered on. Let me log in again. Okay, if you can see, my critical alarms is only for the core service and that is because my device is still not licensed. Okay, let's look at it. So it says my core service is not running because I still don't have any license on the device. Okay, I'll pause the video for a while I fix this licensing issue. Okay, I've installed the license on this box and if you can see, it's all green now. My device is licensed. There are no pending alarms on this device. As explained in the previous slides, the default mode on SteelFusion Virtual Core is iSCSI. You can go to iSCSI Initiator page wherein you can connect your backend storage. You can go to LUNs page where you can explore the LUNs which are projected by the backend storage. You can add the SteelFusion Edge and you can complete the configuration. Those details are already provided in the earlier video configuring SteelFusion devices for iSCSI. So this concludes the video where we learned about how to deploy a virtual SteelFusion core on a VMware ESXi server. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon in some other Riverbed support video.